Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't already know who I am, my name is Joe DeMartinez. I've been in insurance sales for a bit over a year now. Been able to grow a team that does anywhere from 75,000 to 100,000 in premiums submitted every week. While I was writing on my personal pen, I was doing on average about 40,000 a month. Started leaning off of that now and pouring all my energy into the team. But in this video, we're going to be going over some common intro objections in life insurance sales. Intro objections are definitely going to be the most important objections to overcome. As long as you can buy another 10 to 20 seconds in conversation with someone, then you have a much better chance of having a chance to ask more questions. That's going to get you closer to the sale. So let's get right into it. All right, so most importantly, you're going to want to be able to identify the difference between a real objection and a smokescreen. An objection is a real concern or a barrier that's preventing someone from moving forward with a decision. Something like they can't afford it, and if they genuinely can't afford it. That can be a real objection, or it can be a smokescreen. A smokescreen is a surface level excuse people use to avoid giving a real objection. It's usually just a reflex response. So if someone does say that price is a concern, that can be real or it can be a smokescreen. You need to ask more questions in order to uncover if that actually is a real objection or not. Okay, so like I said before, the goal with intro objections is not to address them immediately, but ask questions to get an additional 10 to 20 seconds. That way you can get into conversation and create some sort of engagement. So the most common intro objections that you'll get are, I'm not interested, I can't talk right now, just send me something in the mail, send me a text of a quote, I can't afford it, I'm too old or unhealthy, too young even. These are all very common objections that we get in the intro. And I'm going to go into how we tackle all these objections one by one. Okay, so this first objection here, I'm not interested, is probably going to be the most common objection that people get at the beginning of a sales call. And what you're going to want to do here is see where the real concern is. Did they already have coverage in place? Do they not see the value in it? That's exactly how I asked the question. I'd say, yeah, Mary, so did you already have some sort of coverage in place, or you just don't see the value in it? And they're going to answer that whether it's they already have something in place or they don't see the value. If they say that they already have something in place, then you use your controlled choice questions by asking them, okay, and you got that recently or that was a little while back? They're going to let you know, and then you continue going into it. If they tell you they don't see the value in it, you're going to ask them, about the result that the life insurance could get for them. So did you happen to have your final expenses covered yet? That way nobody has to come out of pocket for any of those expenses. And there's no burden left on the family, something like that. Get them into their emotions a bit and make them see the value of the product, because that's the concern. They said they don't see the value, so make them see the value. The value is covering the final expenses. If you're in final expense sales, the value is covering the mortgage, if you're selling mortgage protection, whatever the case may be. So next one here. So handling I can't talk right now. Another very common objection. You're going to first want to acknowledge the concern. Okay, you can't talk right now. It's most of the time going to be a smokescreen, but still going to acknowledge it and then secure the callback. So what this looks like is, okay, you can't talk right now. When's a better time for us to speak? Sometime today, 6, 7 o'clock. Let them choose. Okay, at 7 o'clock, just so I know what to pull up when we speak again, were you mainly looking to cover those final expenses, leave some extra money to the family, or do a bit of both? Find the intent. They're going to tell us they're looking to cover the final expenses, maybe leave some extra money to the family, as well as covering the final expenses, whatever it may be. And then you're going to quote them before you get on the callback. So you'll say, okay, just to make sure that this is something that even makes sense for us at 6 or 7 o'clock, just go ahead with the date of birth. I'll pull up the rates, make sure that it's something that will even make sense for you. So you'll get the date of birth, pull up the rates, pitch them the price, and if they don't want to continue from there, then you set the callback. But sometimes people just forget about that callback objection that they made earlier, and they let you keep going because now they actually see the value. All right. Hope that all makes sense. So now another one you'll get is just send me something in the mail. People always want to just see the quote or see the price, but you guys know as agents, we need context, we need to know their age, we need to know their health in order to send them something that's accurate. And most of the time when you send people quotes, they never end up calling you back or getting back with you. So you always want to have them on the phone when you're pitching a price or doing anything for that matter. So this is just the trust issue. Prospects often use this objection due to lack of trust in you, simply said. So you're going to need to ask qualifying questions. Agents need to ask qualifying questions before sending materials to engage prospects effectively. What does this mean? You're going to ask them about their age and health. Okay, so any sort of diabetes, emphysema, COPD, anything like that? Okay. Any cigarettes or tobacco products that you're using currently or in the past? Find out if they have any past heart attacks, strokes, seizures, cancers. These are all important things that you need to know in order to give an accurate quote, which you need to tell the client as well, right? Like, I can't just give you a number here. It means nothing without any sort of context. I'm just going to ask you a few brief questions about your health, and I'll be able to give you that rate in just a second here. Any sort of diabetes, emphysema, COPD, anything like that. Boom. You smoke any cigarettes or use any tobacco products. And then any heart attacks, strokes, seizures, cancers, anything like that. Find out all that information, then you can give them an accurate quote. And by then, maybe they've seen the value in the product because they notice that not everybody can get it. You need to be of a certain risk class. You need to be healthy enough and of a certain age to get a certain product. So money objections, very common as well. People are always going to tell you that they can't afford it, and they may just not know. Most people that have final expense insurance are collecting Social Security or disability, and the people that are giving you these money objections are likely those people as well. So they just often don't know that they have the same access to the product that these other people have, and it's really not as expensive as they may think it is. The way I do this is just by categorizing someone that says they can't afford something with other people that typically say they can't afford things, which are Social Security clients. So I'll ask this person, Mary, by any chance are you collecting any sort of Social Security or disability benefits, whether that's on the 1st of the month, 3rd of the month, or a certain Wednesday of the month? They'll answer that question, say it was the 1st of the month. Okay, so most of my clients that get their benefits on the 1st of the month will have the life insurance payment coincide with their Social Security schedule. So in your case, we'd have it go into place on the 2nd of the month. Provided we can even get you approved here, would this be something that would work with you? Most of the time it works. So that's the way I handle, a money objection. I always revert to, seeing if the client is collecting any sort of benefits. If they're not, I'm going to ask them questions to see how much that they're making monthly, maybe how much their living expenses are, to see if they actually can afford it. I know if they have $1,000 or $2,000 left over each month, then they definitely can afford life insurance. That way nobody has to come out of pocket in their family for any sort of final expenses. That goes into the value versus affordability. You need to emphasize the value as well of the life insurance. What it's going to do, it's going to cover the final expenses, leave extra money to the family. So that $40 a month that they thought was a lot may not seem like a lot when it's going to be covering $10,000 to $15,000 of expenses for their family and not leave any sort of burden, which is very important. Okay, so now the age and health objection. We kind of touched on this briefly about a minute ago, but you're just going to want to re-inform people that, there is something available for them regardless of their age and health most of the time. As long as you're a broker, you should have access to at least, 15 different carriers, a bunch of different product types, a bunch of different risk classes. So that pretty much means that you'll be able to find something for them regardless of whatever their risk class is or whatever their age is. A lot of people are misinformed by past agents that they've spoken with, saying that they can't get approved, maybe because the agent doesn't have multiple carriers they work with. So if they have an unhealthy client, they may not have the carrier for that. So just inform these people. Mary, I am a broker out here in New Jersey, so I have access to about 15 to 20 different carriers. That way, based on your agent health, I can see which carrier is willing to approve you for immediate coverage at the lowest rate for the most amount of coverage as well. Does that make sense? Makes sense? All right. So yeah, guys, understanding objections is key to having a genuine conversation and building trust. It's super important to like just be a human and not be robotic. A lot of people earlier in their sales career, they try and stay on script too much, and it sounds very robotic. It's almost like when people do this, they never actually acknowledge the client's real concerns. If someone's telling you that they can't afford something, don't just ignore it and continue going into the script. You have to actually divert off the script, acknowledge that objection, ask questions, and then go back into the script. So don't be a robot, be a human, have real conversations with people. It's going to get you much farther. It's going to help build trust. It's what's going to get the sale. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video, guys. At the end of the day, you're just going to want to keep the conversation moving. You're going to do this by asking those questions when people give you a real concern, feeling for people. If someone has a real concern, you have to feel for them. Make sure that they know that you're on their side. You're not just trying to sell them something. You're trying to guide them in the right direction to give them something that they need for their family. So that's really it for this video, guys. I'm going to put my socials down here. If you guys want to follow me, subscribe to the channel, comment on this video with, new videos that you want for the future or what you liked about this one. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next.